We've waited 5 years for a new mainline 3D Sonic game, and finally it's in our hands. So I went through and 100% everything, got my platinum trophy, and now I'm here to give you my full thoughts on the game. I will be going into full spoilers and everything, so there's your warning, but I'm assuming if you're watching this, you've played it by this point. I'm going to talk a little bit at the end about my personal journey with Frontiers up to the launch, so if you want to stick around for that, stick around for that. But let's get right into Sonic Frontiers. In terms of gameplay, in my humble opinion, this is the best Sonic has controlled since Sonic Adventure 2. The controls are tight, giving Sonic the ability to platform as well as reach blistering speeds. You can change things like your acceleration, boost turn speed, and bounce height in the settings, and this really helps tailor your experience to your needs. The boost has never felt better than it does here. Traditionally, the boost has complemented hallway-like level design, but moving through these open zones at supersonic speeds works beautifully. To sound like IGN, it makes you feel like Sonic. Blazing through fields of flowers, dusty deserts, and up volcanoes feels like it's straight out of Kid Me's imagination. It's truly a delight from start to finish. But Sonic is packing far more than his regular speed. This time Sonic is bringing his fists and much more to his combat arsenal. He has his normal homing attack and stomp, but has several more abilities. The Psy-Loop the most notable, with Sonic creating a trail behind him that can be used to attack enemies and reveal secrets in the open world. Then there's the Drop Dash from Sonic Mania, which was so fun to use, and I kept forgetting I had it, and then when I did remember, I was just popping it left, right and centre. Sonic is equipped with tons of fighting moves that will help him pull off insane combos. You'll find yourself wailing on enemies with a variety of attacks that all feel incredibly natural for the character. It's like Sonic should have always had these abilities, and you can really feel the weight behind his attacks. They hit hard and give powerful results that make you hungry to find the next group of enemies to try out your newly acquired moves. There are 3 abilities that Sonic learns when he lands on each of the first 3 islands. The first is Grand Slam. This gives you the ability to unleash a powerful attack when prompted with the right buttons. This is especially important when you're doing the boss fights, which we'll talk about later. Second up is the Cyclone Kick, a move that sees Sonic whirling in a circle, unleashing a powerful kick with it. The third is the Cross Slash, which sees Sonic firing a ranged series of shockwaves as he circles his opponent. Then there's the skill tree moves that you can unlock by acquiring skill points. The Phantom Rush is an ability that increases your damage output with a 1.2x% multiplier after you sustain your combo meter for long enough. Sonic will then pull a Shadow Clone Jutsu and loads of him will attack the enemy at the same time. It's really cool. Sonic Boom is a ranged kick attack that has you slicing the air into blades with your kicks at the speed of sound. I personally found this to be one of my favourite moves in the game, and my god, it's so overpowered. Wild Rush is a move that has you zigzagging through the air until you meet your enemy with an almighty kick. I found this especially useful in the big boss fights that again, we'll talk about later. The homing shot is the most anime thing Sonic has ever done, as he spawns multiple spin dashing energy versions of himself in a circle surrounding him and then launches them at his opponent. This is the second contender for best move in the game for me, and personally I think it does edge out the Sonic Boom, as this move just goes off, especially with some of the elements we'll get into later in the video. Air Tricks gives Sonic the ability to pull off his iconically cocky posing when flying through the air, and unlock skill points for every one you do before hitting the ground. The Stomp attack allows you to slam down from the air during combos, and I found this really useful when trying to string my combos together. Loop Kick sees Sonic flying backwards through the air before flying into his opponent with a Superman level kick. This one is great for delivering that big last hit. The Quick Psy-Loop allows you to pull off instantaneous Psy-Loops on an enemy mid-combo. This was really needed against some of the basic enemies who throw up their shield every time you go near them. There's an auto combo that strings all your combo attacks together by using your basic attack. I think this ability is more there for the kids, as I personally found it really satisfying to pull off all of the above moves in creative ways, but I understand its inclusion. Spin Slash has you flying around in a circle that feels reminiscent of the Blue Tornado from Sonic Heroes. As sharp as a blade, Sonic's whirling saw of death rips apart enemies in its way, feeling really satisfying. Finally, there's the Recovery Smash, which allows you to quickly counter after being hit by following the button prompts. Again, this move feels so satisfying as it immediately throws you back into the fight, and the end result is devastating. If you feel like being more defensive, Sonic can now parry enemy attacks. There isn't any timing required, but it still felt fun to pull off, especially in scenarios where something quickly snuck up on me. All these tools in your arsenal add a whole new layer to the series that I can't wait to see be expanded on in future titles. Sonic truly feels like a force to be reckoned with, and like I said previously, these feel like natural abilities for him. Nothing feels forced for the sake of including a combat system. All the moves translate to exactly how I always imagined Sonic would fight. In fact, I'll go as far as to say, I feel like this is what Sonic should have always had in Smash Bros. And if Sonic were to appear in the next one, I would hope Daddy Sakurai or whoever is directing would look at this game and redesign Sonic's kit. Of course, Smash couldn't create such an elaborate moveset without Sonic Team doing it first. This is clearly the future foundation for Sonic, so I think they should use this as a template for his moves. Anyway, enough about Smash. The open world serves as a collectathon. Your friends are trapped in cyberspace and you must save them by collecting their corresponding memory tokens. This will progress the story on each island. You may have to do puzzles for the characters, or you may just trigger a cutscene, but these cutscenes are so damn good. They do so much for these characters and the plot. Again, this is something I'll touch on later when I talk about the plot, but damn, this is my favourite writing in the series since Sonic Adventure 2. The islands are home to a wide variety of enemies that you'll need to use all your abilities to get through. However, the Guardians are a series of foes stronger than the rest, and all have unique circumstances to fight them. These are really fun for the most part. I love Asura, Squid, Ninja, and its variations, same for Tower. I personally quite like the Shark Guardian, although it took quite a while as you hang from its tail through the desert until the moment you can strike. Out of all of them, I'd say Centipede is my least favourite, purely because I suck at it, with my favourite being Asura. There's something about the grand scale of this thing as you run up its gargantuan arms, only to destroy them one by one. Besides feeling totally badass for taking down these enemies, you receive portal gears. These are used at various gates across the Starfall Islands to interact with cyberspace. Cyberspace acts as your more traditional Sonic Boost stages, this time modelled after Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Angel Island, and Radical Highway, I believe. However, these stages are layouts from classic stages in the series, such as City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2, which I really enjoyed. There is a story reason for the reuse, but this serves as a different kind of experiment. It shows that Boost-era Sonic can work in adventure-style stages, and it makes me so happy to see. Now, the cyberspace levels aren't something you'll spend a lot of time doing, as they're fairly short, with most of your time being spent in the open zone. However, these stages offer a lot of replayability with 4 challenges per stage. These are to clear the stage, collect a certain amount of rings, achieve an S rank, and collect all of the red star rings. These will award you Vault Keys, which you use to unlock the Chaos Emeralds. You're going to need the Chaos Emeralds to fight the titanic enemies in Sonic's path. You thought I was going to talk about the boss fights here? Well, you're going to have to wait. Each island also includes a big fishing cyberspace gate, and I swear to God, I can waste hours doing this. On the islands, you can find purple coins that are used to fish. The fish you pull give you tokens that can be used to buy various items that can help you progress through the islands or upgrade Sonic's stats. There are also Eggman memos to unlock that do so much to flesh out the greater lore of the Sonic universe. Again, we'll get to that later in the video. With the Monster Hunter DLC, you can also cook in these stages, and this requires 0 tokens to do. It's a great way to farm for faster progression. As I mentioned, Sonic can have his stats increased by collecting red seeds of power, blue seeds of defense, and Coco around the islands. You return these to either Hermit or Elder Coco to receive these rewards, and they make more of a difference than you think. There's times when I was struggling against an enemy, then I realised I hadn't upgraded in ages, and lo and behold, when I did, I was ripping through robots like a hot knife through butter. The Coco, despite being absolutely fucking adorable, I want one, focus on your speed and ring capacity, with the seeds powering up your attack and defense. It added another layer of gameplay that I really enjoyed. The islands are littered with platforming segments for you to enjoy. These normally lead to memory tokens to save your friends, but they all flow so well together. You'll self on one through rails, springs, walls, boost pads and whatnot, and then immediately approach your next one. This really helps you explore these vast landscapes and uncover loads of items to help you progress. They have a somber tone of long abandoned lands, and the plot really exemplifies that. There are 5 islands in total, with one acting as more of a plot catalyst than a fully explorable island. This island actually features some of my favourite platforming segments though, so I wasn't unhappy with it. I'd say out of all 5, the second island, Ares, is probably my favourite. You can unlock the map by completing challenges found across the island. These vary from reaching a location in a set amount of time, completing floor puzzles, knocking balls into rings, building up damage in a time limit, and much more. There's enough variety here for it to not feel samey, and I often found myself doing as many of these as possible before continuing with the main story. You'll also find markers that once side-looped can uncover springs and pads to unlock new platforming sections, or dig up things like memory tokens, portal gears, and vault keys. Exploration is something this game rewards, with both the aforementioned items and mini platforming segments that really are some of the best aspects of the Sonic series. Every now and then you'll have the Starfall event happen on the islands. This covers the world in glowing shards that can be collected to earn Big's fishing coins via an on-screen slot machine. All the enemies will also respawn, giving you extra opportunities to gain portal gears, skill points, and more. These were somewhat bittersweet for me. Whilst I appreciated the chance to take on prior enemies again and collect fishing coins, the slot machine itself covers up a bit too much of the HUD for my liking, and the giant beams in the sky can often make it difficult to track my own destination marker. However, I can say these didn't really tarnish my enjoyment of the game, and were very visually stunning to play through. But seeing as we're talking about visually stunning experiences, I guess we should talk about my favourite thing about the gameplay that I've been holding off. It's time to go super. That's right, collect 6 Chaos Emeralds and it's time to climb aboard the Titans of the Starfall Islands. Grab the Chaos Emerald from their head and take them on in epic, jaw-dropping, saliva-inducing boss fights featuring Sonic at the most badass he's ever been. Super Sonic has always been something we've relished as an end boss fight for over 25 years, but in this, you've got 4 gargantuan beasts to face as the Golden Blur, each one with its own mechanics as to defeat them. However, unlike any other Super Sonic boss battle, our boy goes in so damn hard. You start with Giganto, a slow-moving brute with a taste for hedgehog flesh. Secondly is Wyvern, a dragon you chase through the skies who loves firing homing missiles. Third is Knight, a 4-legged monster living in a volcano with a sword and shield you'll need to take advantage of to take down. Finally is Supreme, the culmination of all your Titan-slaying antics, who comes at you with a huge ray cannon. These battles are a spectacle to behold, a true return to shonen anime Sonic, and overall my favourite boss fights in the entire franchise. Followed of course by Solaris and Sonic 06. Every hit you land has tremendous impact, you dart around at blistering speeds, and you unleash every Dragon Ball level over the top combo finisher you can, whilst awaiting a quick time event that will help you rack up damage and eventually down your titanic foe. That always feels satisfying and ripped out of the most over-the-top ideas ever constructed for Sonic. I mean, look at this. This is my favourite thing in the entire game. The selection of songs that accompany you featuring Kellen Quinn, Danger Kids and Mary Kirkholmes are my second favourite thing about the game. If you've been watching the channel recently, you'll know I'm obsessed with these songs, but if you haven't, hey, subscribe to the channel and go check them out. But I'll touch on the music in a little bit because I'm going to go into the entire soundtrack. There's nothing more fun than wailing on these guys and racking up 100 hit combos in the process. If you're a Sonic fan, you're going to be so happy. And if you're a newcomer, you're probably saying you didn't know Sonic was this OP. And to that, I show you this. Chill, Sonic, Jesus! Now it sucks that at the moment you can't go back and replay these boss battles without doing a whole new game. And believe me, I'm on my 6th or 7th playthrough now. But I'm hoping that's going to be included as part of the upcoming DLC. And talking about DLC, we really need to hit 2,000 subscribers before the DLC, so hit subscribe. If this is implemented in the DLC, then I'm going to be trying to get 0% speedruns on all the bosses, so I'm really looking forward to that. Gameplay is the foundation of any great game, and Sonic Frontiers gets it right at every point. That's not to say improvements can't be made, but for all it attempts, it never actually fails. The different objectives over these different zones make gameplay constantly enjoyable and fresh. Everything you do rewards the player, and therefore everything feels satisfying. Even in the post-game, I just enjoy running through these islands and encountering all they have to offer. From grinding rails, to saving Coco, to fighting enemies with the most over-the-top, overpowered Sonic X feeling moves the franchise has ever seen, I truly feel the game is a delight. This feels like a great balance between the adventure-style gameplay and the boost style of the past decade. I love every second I spend playing Sonic Frontiers, and that isn't just because of how it plays. There's a whole story that pushes the series in a great new direction.
Given the infrastructure, I don't think this was a residential area. It seems more like military front lines.
A first strike position, huh? I mean, those cannons aren't just for show. With everything we've seen, just what kind of enemy were they preparing for?
Sonic, Tails and Amy find themselves en route to the Starfall Islands as Dr. Eggman uploads his AI into an ancient system. Both parties find themselves trapped in cyberspace, with Sonic being the only one able to break free. Knuckles also ends up trapped after he finds a cyberspace gate on Angel Island. Sonic finds his friends on the island trapped in these ball-like prisons, and when he frees them, he absorbs a bit of cyberspace energy which seems to be corrupting him. But even with his friends freed from their cages, they're still stuck between dimensions and appear as ghosts to Sonic. He's met by a strange voice telling them that he is the key to find the Chaos Emeralds, destroy the Titans, and break down the walls between dimensions. From here, the mystery of the Ancients unfolds. The Ancients are beings from space who travel to Earth to escape a Lovecraftian creature intent on wiping them out, thousands of years ago. It is revealed that these creatures directly influenced Chaos, the god of destruction, and they brought the Chaos Emeralds from space with them to power their civilization and protect against a pursuing foe. However, neither the Titans nor the 7 Chaos Emeralds were enough to defeat this being, tearing through their defenses as if they were paper. As you discover all of this, Eggman has enlisted his new AI child, Sage, to try and pull him out of cyberspace. She seems to care a lot for the Doctor, with his safety being her most paramount concern. She also aims to deter Sonic from his path, telling him to leave the Starfall Islands at every point, and awakening the island's defences to force him to do so. Sage thinks only in terms of empirical data, and sees no such outcome that reality survives. That is until she starts seeing Sonic's feats and calculates the possibility of Sonic and Eggman working together. Sage's story is a predictable one, but I really enjoy her character arc nonetheless. There's a touching bit where she refers to Orbot and Cubot as her brothers, and it really hit me in the feels. Of course, there is a reason why Sage has been awakening Titans and warning of the danger of Sonic's actions. Our boy has been played. The voice speaking to you throughout the game is in fact the very void itself, or rather, the end. The Ancients built the Gargantuan Titans, powered by the Chaos Emeralds, to defeat the very essence of darkness itself. It was trapped in cyberspace, but Sonic's cocky actions have broken down the walls between dimensions, allowing it to roam free once again and destroy the planet. It possesses the final Titan Supreme, and after getting wrecked by Super Sonic to the incredible sounds of "I'm here!" We'll get into that later, I swear. The end rises into space, taking the form of a planet. Director Kishimoto has said that the end looks different for everyone, taking the form of how the individual would see the end of the world. One thing I did notice is how it looked similar in texture to the Space Colony arc, and I wonder if this is some sort of reference to potential trauma Sonic still feels after the events of SA2. I mean, the Ark was gonna collide with the planet and wipe everyone out. Not to mention, this is one of the few times where Sonic hasn't been able to save everyone he cared about, with Shadow dying in the climactic fight. You could say that gets undone when Shadow comes back in later games, but it doesn't change the fact that Sonic couldn't save Shadow. Shadow came back with help from Eggman. This is the most terrifying enemy Sonic has ever faced. Maybe not in appearance, but definitely in tone. Your fight against this enemy is a Space Invaders style segment. Now I'll be honest, this is not my favourite end boss fight, but the monologue delivered as you fire away is truly haunting. I legit got chills whilst I dodged the hundreds of shots launching towards me, and Sonic destroys it by punching a hole through it. That just ticks all the right boxes for me. A simple story, but one that is incredibly satisfying. It really brings back the elements from my favourite period of Sonic storytelling. All that shonen anime goodness. Everything is pushed up to an 11 on this one. The stakes, the power, and the music to accompany. The narrative accompanies the Starfall Islands beautifully and brings forth some of the greatest storytelling told in the series by working on one key factor: the relationship between Sonic and his friends. Let's start with Amy. Frontiers builds a rapport between the two that's a far departure from Amy chasing Sonic around like a lovesick puppy. She's focused on helping the Coco, and this leads her to the realization that she has too much love to just devote to Sonic. She even argues with Sonic when he suggests they should be helping their friends and not the Coco.
Don't get too far ahead.
Maybe we should just let them wrap it up on their own.
We have to see this through.
We still haven't found Tails. We've been wrangling children and taking detours the whole way.
Are you telling me you would leave behind someone in need?
No, but I'm also worried about you. You can't help anyone if you're stuck in limbo.
It's time for Amy Rose to go out into the world and heal it. And Sonic essentially saying he'll wait for her broke me. Sonic doesn't treat her like an annoyance. He shows care and concern. He puts his life on the line for her. But it's different this time. Sonic is maturing. But we'll get into my thoughts on that in a little bit. Knuckles and Sonic's relationship definitely took some tips from the movie. Knuckles has always been Sonic's rival, but that's been put more on the back burner in the past 2 decades because of Shadow. The movie brought the concept of them being begrudging friends and rivals back into the forefront, mainly because of its adaptation of material from Sonic 3. And it would appear Sonic Team have put in the effort to bring that back to the games. They wind each other up, they argue.
Some rescue. I'm still half ghost.
I'm working on it, okay?
They even have these wonderful moments of banter that really make them feel like brothers. Shown at moments like where Knuckles takes a blast fired at Sonic and attempts to attack Sage, who sent the attack. This really feels like we get time to sit down with these characters who haven't had many long conversations in recent games and just let them shoot the shit. It's such a great friendship to watch develop and is one of my favourite aspects of this game. Tails' story feels like course correction at its finest. Sonic mentions how he's worried about him not meeting him until the 3rd island, but when we find him, Tails isn't struggling. He's strong and confident in how he speaks, even snapping at Sonic.
I'm saying I'm fine. You're not, and I'm worried.
Tails mentions his shortcomings at the hands of Infinite. I mean, we got an Infinite reference! And how he intends to set off on his own, no longer needing to rely on Sonic's help. It really hit me hard to see my favourite little buddy fully grown up. And the relationship between Sonic and Tails is just strengthened by this. Sonic talking of how he didn't realise how fast his little brother had grown up. I cried genuine tears at some of this stuff. It fleshed them out in a way that feels natural and extremely heartfelt. These two together will always be one of my favourite pairings, in not only gaming, but pop culture in general. Yeah, you heard me, Batman and Bird Boy. Tails is intent on uncovering the dark history of the ancients and is perhaps Sonic's biggest asset in finding the truth. Then there's Eggman, trapped in cyberspace for the majority of the game and much more reserved than we've ever seen the Doctor previously. While still holding on to the arrogance we know and love from him, he seems far less erratic, even talking of respecting Sonic and him being a worthy adversary. Then there's his relationship with Sage, who he straight up calls his daughter by the end of it, and is seen bringing her back to life after her sacrifice in the final battle against the End. Oh, but wait, this is a post-credit scene? Yup, Sonic's going out there with the continuity now, and I love it. This is an Eggman I can really get behind. He's clearly getting older, and you really feel like he might be evaluating everything in his 31-year career. He's still Eggman to his core, but it feels like he may have other things he prioritizes after this game besides chasing Sonic. Then there's Sonic himself, who probably undergoes the least amount of developing, but he isn't really supposed to. Sonic is the vessel in which you experience this story. The plot revolves around reactions to him, whether it be the island's defenses as he unknowingly frees the oncoming calamity, or how his friends react to how much they need him. But what's clear to me here is Sonic and his friends have legitimately aged up. Tails feels more like a 16-year-old than an 8-year-old. Sonic maybe 18-19, Amy 17-18, and Knuckles in his early 20s. I know these characters aren't entirely comparable in human years, but this is the best way I can describe it. Sega even took the character ages off of the website right before the launch of Frontiers, so I think it's safe to say everyone got a little older. This once again highlights the continuity Ian Flynn is trying to set in this game, and likely titles going forward. It sets the standard for new adventures for our main characters while still acknowledging everything that came before. The references and Easter eggs for long-term fans are brimming at the seams, even going as far as to bring Styx the Badger and Tangle the Lemur into the main continuity. It really is a love letter to the franchise, and Ian Flynn is such a great writer to pioneer this new venture into Sonic's future games. Everything just works, with Flynn constructing a narrative that keeps you engaged, hits those emotional and dramatic beats, and feels straight out of the shonen anime arc that Sonic had in the mid-2000s. I'm so excited for the future of this franchise's stories going forward. I mean, we have cliffhangers and post-credit scenes now. I'm expecting some big storytelling beats from Sonic Team going forward. Considering how deep into the lore of the Ancients Frontiers goes, I think the future is looking really, really bright.
Go ahead and beat that giant. Don't you dare lose it.
Now why would I want to disappoint you?
Now it's a Sonic game, so there's something we obviously need to talk about: the music. Sonic Frontiers has an extensive soundtrack, filled with iconic tracks you'll be hearing in YouTubers like Marcel's videos for years to come. From the hauntingly beautiful themes of the islands, the sinister renditions of the Guardians, the electronic powerhouses of cyberspace, or the incredible best in the series vocal themes. There's something for everyone to love here. Asura is my favourite Guardian theme of the game. It comes in as you face this towering monstrosity right after the tutorial section and sets a dramatic tone that the game does really well to emulate throughout. I love the music of Uranus Island. It really reminds me of the Hollow Bastion theme from Kingdom Hearts, with a chilling aura and a piano riff that really touches your soul with every keystroke. When it comes to cyberspace, there are two songs that take the top spot for me. Flowing is a dancey, trancey, melodic jam that perfectly accompanies the stage. Regular on my daily Spotify playlist. Transparent Highway is a floaty, hard-hitting electro banger, feeling straight out of the 90s. It just personifies running at the speed of sound through these trippy recollections of Sonic's past. Two notable mentions are Fishing Vibes, the lo-fi banger from Big's fishing stages that is my constant go-to when I need to put my Raycons in and go for a quick snooze. I'm With You is an atmospheric thrill ride that accompanies you as you battle the end in the game's climax. I absolutely love this tune. It's so inspiring and uplifting, yet still raises fear in me as I recall the hundreds of black and white dots trying to blast me into oblivion. Then there are the vocal tracks.
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up till the end of me.
Undefeatable is the first song featuring Kellen Quinn, and it really sets the tone of over-the-top supersonic anime goodness. The rush I felt when boosting towards Giganto, as Kellen's screaming vocals almost goad me into attacking him, is just heart-stopping. I legit couldn't believe what I was playing.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind, where we've been growing slowly. Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me.
This tune is an absolute top-tier Sonic vocal track, up there with the likes of His World and Endless Possibility.
Already know this story. It's time to face your fears when your time has come and gone. I'll be the one to carry on, and you can throw me to the wolves, 'cause I am undefeated.
Breakthrough It All is the second track featuring Kellen and accompanies the Wyvern boss fight, which in terms of spectacle may be my favourite Titan fight in the game. This one is heavier than before, featuring far more screamo vocals with a slower gradual build to a vocal ending that grips you by the heart and pulls you through the skies with Sonic as he fights this absolute beast.
Break through it all and all the
classic to go in the Sonic Music Hall of Fame, and I love it so much. Find Your Flame is the third track, and man, Find Your Flame. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll know Infinite is one of my favourite songs in the entire series. It's emo as fuck, and that's enough for me. So imagine after I hear Kellen bringing in his fire intro, I hear Tyler Smith coming in with the vocals for the verses.
I've been waiting for my moment to strike, so come close, let me show you what it's like. Yeah, you can try to stand in my path, but you're gonna regret it. I'll be the one who laughs last while I'm making my exit, cause this is only for the song of heart, not if you get it. And no matter what the outcome, you better accept it. I can cut like the shell, I can bury the flag, so don't doubt for a second, just get out of.
These guys go so damn hard on this. I love it from start to finish, and it perfectly accompanies your battle against the Night Titan as it wheels around the volcano with its giant sword. The way it carries you as you turn the Titan's blade on itself is something that's just absolute chef's kiss.
I've been there and I've seen it. I'm never gonna stop believing. You'll find your flame.
One Way Dream by Nate Wants to Battle brings so many tears to my eyes. For one, it's that quintessential Sonic song, offering a light tone, inspiring, uplifting lyrics, and that pop-punk attitude the Sonic series has danced with so regularly over the years. But the biggest thing, this is Nate Wants to Battle.
Step up a gear, feel the wind, smell the air. Chances are everywhere.
The Sonic fan, the YouTuber whose covers I've listened to for over a decade, who gave us not only an incredible Sonic cover album, but also an extended version of that same EP the following year. A man who clearly loves Sonic as much as I do. He has finally got his own official Sonic song in an official Sonic game. I'm just so happy for this guy. He deserves this through and through, and has made an awesome song that will serve as a song I play when I need a little bit of cheering up, even competing alongside such classics as his cover of Endless Possibility. Nate, if you are watching this by any chance, and I seriously doubt that, but you know, one can dream, I just want to say I'm so happy for you. Seriously well done. Thank you so much for this song. It's such an incredible Sonic song, and me and the rest of the community are just so happy that you got this opportunity, so well done, buddy. Then to top it all off, we have the main theme of the game, the absolute GOAT of all Sonic music. I'm Here is performed by Mary Kirk Holmes of 2 Octavia, and this song is like a drug to me. I finish listening to it and it goes straight back to the start on repeat. I love this song with every fibre of my Sonic obsessed being.
I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, I fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always the new.
It goes harder than any song in the franchise, and more than it has any right to. It is shonen anime personified. Mary Kirk Holmes comes in and showcases his incredible vocal range as we go from soft melodic symphonies to absolute chaos with screaming vocals. The best part of this song is, it's like Sonic is singing it to us, as if he's telling us and everyone else on his journey, he's here. There's no need to be afraid anymore. Together, we're gonna win. This is something always quintessential for a Sonic game, but to get it so right with just the main theme song set to a hard-hitting emo vibe is just remarkable. So that's why I'm going to make a statement that I'll probably get a lot of hate for, but I've got to be honest here. Not only do I think Sonic Frontiers has the best vocal soundtrack of any game in the series, in my opinion, I'm Here is the greatest song in the series, period. I can't even put into words how much I love this. It's just perfection to me.
What is your end goal?
It varies. Sometimes it's a spinning sign, sometimes it's a big old ring.
Sonic Frontiers is the quintessential game for the new era of Sonic that many of us are now referring to as the Renaissance era. Frontiers tries to do so many things and does all of them well. I'm not saying things can't be improved. There's always room for growth and improvement in every game, but Sonic Team have made a game so fun to play and so engaging to journey through that it's an absolute must-buy for any Sonic fan, and I would even go as far as to say newcomers as well. If you've seen gameplay online and thought you might give it a go pick it up, because this game is so much more fun to play than watch. And if you've been watching my streams, you'll know it's hella fun to watch. I'm so proud to be a Sonic fan right now. Frontiers is such an incredible experience that we as Sonic fans can be proud of. I mean, it came second in the Game of the Year Players' Voice Awards, beating God of War and Elden Ring. That's massive. I can't remember a time we had such a big W as Sonic fans. The game is the absolute culmination of an incredible year of Sonic, and we just got Sonic Prime, which is a lot of fun, and I'll be giving my thoughts on later on the channel. For me, Sonic Frontiers is just everything I wanted it to be and more. The franchise has grown so much this year with the movies and Prime and Origins re-releasing those classics, and then Frontiers is, I will say at this point, a universally loved Sonic game. I'm seeing people like Choctopus, for instance, who have always given Sonic a good ribbing, loving this game. I'm just so happy to see it. It's everything I wanted for our Blue Boy, and it just feels incredible to see him on such a high, ending the year on Frontiers. And Prime is such a great way to end the year. So that's my thoughts on Sonic Frontiers. While we're here, I'd like to take a minute just to talk about the experience I've personally had with Sonic Frontiers, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video. So many of you know that I work for Sega of Europe. I work doing IT for Sega of Europe, and it has been my absolute honour to take this game to game shows this year for you guys to play the demo of. And you know, whether you went to EGX, MCM I was involved in some of the stuff for some of the other ones, Paris Games Week as well. I was at all of these conventions bringing the game there for you guys to play the demo, and I got to meet so many of you and just talk about our love for Sonic and how happy you were from the demo that you played. And some of you even recognized me from the channel, and that's just awesome. And thank you to those people. And I know there's a lot of people that have reached out to me. I haven't been able to reply yet. I apologize. You know, we've had the launch of Sonic Frontiers, and then Christmas has been here, and I had to have a holiday. So I went on holiday with Jess, and that was really nice. So I will be getting around in the new year to replying to everybody that I met that has reached out. You're all really, really lovely, and I love to keep the Sonic conversation going with you. So it really has been one of the greatest honours of my life to work on this game, on the campaign, to bring it to people. And I'm so, so proud of Sonic. I'm so, so proud of Sonic Team, the team at Sega that have all worked together to bring this amazing launch out. Like, Sega have done so much for us as fans with this launch. They really have been great to us. The fans, myself as an employee, but as a Sonic fan, they've given us so much this year, and I just want to say a big thank you from me to all of Sega, you know, because I don't get to interact with everybody. Thank you so much if you are watching this, for everything Sonic this year. It's been incredible. As I said, I will be giving my thoughts on Sonic Prime probably before the new year, but we'll see what happens, because God knows when this is going to come out, so we'll have to see, guys. But thank you all so much for watching this review, for being patient with me. Let me know down in the comments How do you feel about Sonic Frontiers? Did you enjoy the game? Let me know. And also, let me know that you got to the end of the video. That's always good. Subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, 2,000 subscribers before the Frontiers DLC. We can do this. We can do this. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye for now. What's up?